Hail! So in this video I'm going to do something totally different for a change, and it's inspired by the image I used as the thumbnail for the Mother's Day special I recently published. And I just want to briefly introduce you to three of the major goddesses of the Germanic religion, and three other female figures who are even more important than the gods, since they direct the fate of men and gods alike, the fates. So first, foremost, we have two. We have Frigg of the Aesir, chiefess of the Aesir, and then we have Freja, who is Vanir captive, but she's the foremost figure after Odin himself, and Frigg is Odin's wife. So, a brief introduction to the clans of the gods first. And, okay, before that, a brief introduction to Norse cosmology, because you need to understand that. Yggdrasil, the world tree, the world is a tree. Midgard, Middle Earth, where we are, is in the center, along the trunk of the tree. In the upper realms are in the branches. So the upper branches have two realms, Vanaheim and Asgard. Asgard is the highest, and Asgard is where the foremost clan of gods live. Vanaheim is the other. And then there's Alfheim. Elves are between gods and men. They're superhuman. They're depicted as wise, fair, tall, and then you have dark elves, the Svartalfur, black elves, dark elves. They are also fair, actually, but they are named dark elves for their dark hair. And they live beneath the world. They're what evolved into dwarves in certain forms of the mythology. And they're master craftsmen, whereas the light elves are wise enchanters, magicians, healers. The humans live in Midgard in the middle. The dark elves live in the earth beneath them. The Jotunheim, the realm of the giants, is around Midgard, the ring of mountains that surrounds the great river, which is the seas. And then beneath the tree, we have, directly beneath the surface of the tree, we have a well that sits under the main root, the trunk. And that's where these Norns, who Shakespeare depicts as the three weird sisters, that's where they sit. And one of them also has a double life as one of the Valkyrie, which is interesting. That's the angelic servants of Odin's Hall in Asgard. But these three Norns sit there and together spin the fates of gods and men alike. They determine everything that happens through their spinning. If we go further, then we have the two roots from which the world was formed, Muspelheim and Niflheim. That's fire and ice. So the fire giants live one side, the ice giants live at the other side. And these two roots, everything was born from these two roots, and the birth of the earth is another story. It's a remnant of a cosmic giant, which was then formed into the earth. His body was formed into the earth through a merger of fire and ice, and through the service of the dwarves, who were initially world-eating maggots that ate up his body and churned out the basic parts that became the earth alongside this merger of fire and ice. So they were given humanoid forms, the dwarves, the dark elves. Because in the Norse they're not depicted as our typical short friends. they're also, you know, as I said, tall, fair, dark-haired elves who focus on smithing and do live below the ground. And then we have Helheim, which, now there are two heavens, essentially. One is Odin's realm, and one is Freya's realm. So both in Asgard. One is Walhalla, of course, and the other one is Vingolf. So Walhalla is where the most esteemed of the aggressive warriors will go, those who die in battle, and the defensive warriors will go to Vingolf. Vingolf is like the Roman Elysium. Vingolf is the land of a beautiful paradise garden with songs and poetry and love, whereas Walhalla is drink meat by day, have a battle in which everyone dies at night, and then be resurrected the next day. So it's constant training for Ragnarok. So your afterlife is preparing to fight as one of the soldiers of the gods in the final battle at the end of days. And yeah, so and then Hel as well. Hel is Hel is the only goddess who rules 2 realms. Hel is one of the Aesir, but Hel is a daughter of Loki. Loki is the god who is essentially the devil. He's the mischievous trickster god, and the god of deviancy, degeneracy. He was cast out by the Aesir. But whilst Hel was still in the good books of the gods, she was given Niflheim to rule by Odin. So Hel rules both Helheim and Niflheim. Helheim, my understanding of it, I've seen others argue that there is no such division within Helheim, but my understanding of it is that there are 3 realms in Helheim, and the lowest is for people who break the most serious of Germanic laws. So those who are liars, cheats, murderers, kidnappers, and the sexually immoral. The second realm is for everyone else, anyone who doesn't die in battle and go to Valhalla or Vingolf. And the third realm, the upper realm, is for heroes and gods. So one of the gods does die at one point. Loki tricks another god into shooting him with an arrow that can kill him. And he ends up in hell, and he has to make his way out. So Hel is an interesting goddess. Hel is depicted as half of her face beautiful woman, and the other half of her face, the half of her body, is that of a deceased corpse. As I said, she's a descendant of Loki. Loki had various children with giantess, including the Fenris wolf, who is the beast that starts the end of the world, Nidhogg, which is the serpent, the sea serpent, which lives in the great river, and Utgard, Loki, he's the king of the giants. Frigg. So Frigg is the goddess who is loyalty, the goddess of motherhood, the goddess of loyalty, goddess of marriage, goddess of childbearing, whereas Freya is the goddess of sex and of beauty. So they both represent the feminine, but it's 2 different sides of the feminine. And the one is from this clan of Vanir, who were conquered by the Aesir. Vanir are gods of fertility and virility, gods of beauty, chiefly. And the Aesir were gods of war and wisdom. So I have a theory about this, that this is the leftover of the conquest, where Europe had matriarchal societies. So these matriarchal societies worshipped these gods of fertility and virility. The conquering patriarchal Indo-Europeans worshipped gods of war and wisdom. And then Germanic culture was founded by the fusion of these cultures as the Proto-Europeans were assimilated by the Aryans. Yeah. Idunn is the third goddess I wanted to mention. And Idunn, she's the goddess who gives youth to the gods. She has a tree, the fruit of which are the apples of Idunn, and they are the Germanic equivalent of the elixir of life. It keeps the gods youthful. And again, at one point, this is stolen. It's misplaced, and a quest needs to be made to recover it in time. Yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. I would love to do more videos about this. I know it's very different to the usual video on genetics or on phenotype, but it's still well within the realm of physical anthropology. I mean, it's more about the Indo-European culture, but it's yeah, it's also very interesting. I will do a video or a series of videos on Zoroastrianism at one point, because that's interesting. I studied that in a lot of depth. Hope you enjoyed. Tell me if you like this sort of thing, you'd like to see more. Yeah, enjoy Mother's Day again. Celebrate the feminine. Draw.